Hi, this is Eric Janszen of iTulip. Today, we are pleased to have longtime iTulip contributor and real estate expert Sean O'Toole. Today, Sean is launching his company's new service, ForeclosureRadar, now available at ForeclosureRadar.com. The best way to describe ForeclosureRadar is as the Zillow of home foreclosures. Instead of home price information, ForeclosureRadar tells you which homes are in foreclosure, updated every day. The ForeclosureRadar subscription service is designed for real estate professionals and investors who are looking to buy foreclosed properties, providing details on major aspects of a property, such as equity and title status. For the non-professional, ForeclosureRadar offers free tools that reveal the facts behind the headlines, a window into the reality on the ground. A home in foreclosure often looks like any other home. The true extent of the damage caused by the housing bubble is hidden all around us. ForeclosureRadar reveals it.
Sean O'Toole of ForeclosureRadar. Welcome, Sean.
Hi, thanks.
So we got a few questions for you. Then we'd like to see a demonstration of the product. So start off by letting us know what ForeclosureRadar is.
Well, ForeclosureRadar is providing statistics and detailed property information on every foreclosure in California. And we also track each foreclosure auction in California on a daily basis. There's foreclosures every day in 58 counties throughout the state, and in many counties there's 4 or 5 auctions each day, and we track each and every one of those auctions so that you don't have to.
So who uses it?
Real estate investors, real estate professionals would be the primary users. A lot of opportunities here for realtors, lenders, attorneys, and of course investors.
What states does it cover?
We're just doing California at this point. Foreclosure laws vary quite a bit by state, and so does the foreclosure process. There are some nationwide service providers, but they have to simplify their data quite a bit and can't do things like track the auctions because of differences in process by state. So with California representing a major portion of the U.S. real estate market, and also being where I live, this is where we decided to start.
Sounds good. So, well, great. Then let's get into a demonstration. I'm sure everyone's eager to see how it works.
Wonderful. So let's start with just by going to the homepage at www.ForeclosureRadar.com.
Okay.
And you'll see the state heat map right there on the homepage.
Yep.
Darker red indicates higher rates of foreclosure, and as you get down to more the white color, that's lower rates of foreclosure. This is actually calculated using kind of a bell curve algorithm each night. We look at the statistics and recalculate this heat map so it's updated on a daily basis.
Well, great. So how would you go about using this? Where do you start?
Yeah. So first, on the heat map itself, the easiest thing to do is to find a location you're interested in and simply double-click to zoom in. And if you double-click 2 or 3 times, you'll get down to the zip code level. Maybe try that right around the Bay Area, Eric.
Okay. So I'm clicking on San Francisco.
All right. And now you should see zip code divisions. And if you just scroll across the bay to Alameda, Oakland area, and Richmond, you can see that Richmond and the east part of Oakland are not doing as well, and yet, areas like Piedmont have really very little foreclosure problem. And you get up into Orinda, Lafayette, and Walnut Creek, you also see very little foreclosure activity.
Zero in on an area that you would consider to be problematic and that has a very high incidence of foreclosure activity.
Let's just take a look at the state capital if you want. You can put in the search local foreclosures up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
If you put in Sacramento, California, or just CA, and press the search button, you get a picture of downtown Sacramento, and that is showing you the first 20 results. So that's what we provide everyone for free, is look at the 20 foreclosures that are closest to where they live. And green represents somebody who's at the notice of default stage, which we call a pre-foreclosure. Blue represents a property that's going to auction, that's actively scheduled for foreclosure. A notice of trustee sale has been issued. And red is a property that has sold and gone back to the bank. And so it's now a bank-owned property that the bank needs to sell. So this is showing you again the 20 closest foreclosures to the location that you selected. And if you click on one of those markers, it'll tell you the street that it's on. It'll tell you how many bedrooms and bathrooms the property is. And then depending on the type of opportunity, it'll tell you the amount. So for a pre-foreclosure opportunity, the amount is the amount behind in their mortgage that that particular property is. On a blue icon, it would tell you the amount of the auction or the auction price for that property. And on a red icon, it would tell you the amount that the bank actually purchased the property for at auction. When I say the bank purchased the property, that's sometimes confusing. Basically, the bank sets the opening bid at the total amount owed on the property, and if nobody else bids, the bank by default is the winning bidder and ends up taking the property back.
I see.
Let's try 95206. This is in Stockton, California.
Okay, now we move over to Stockton, and we see we have a combination of blue, red, and green indicators, indicating pre-foreclosure, auction, and bank-owned properties. Is that right?
Correct. And if you click on one of the blue icons, again, you'll see the address for the property,
Yep.
The number of bedrooms and baths, and the amount that the property is scheduled for sale, and what we estimate the equity to be in the property. Now, as somebody who has invested in many foreclosures, you definitely need to do your research on the equity. We're using public records to determine that, and estimates actually provided by Zillow. Of course, you'll want to do your own research and verify those equity percentages, but it gives you a good idea as a starting point.
Very interesting information.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind on our free search here is it's just showing you the first 20 results. So on this map, I can pretty much guarantee there are quite a few more properties in the surrounding areas, but it is showing the 20 closest to that particular location. If you put in your personal street address, it would find the 20 foreclosures closest to you.
So what data do you collect?
We collect the notices of default that get recorded when a property first enters foreclosure, and that's what we refer to as a pre-foreclosure opportunity. These are folks that have just received notice that they're behind in their payments, and it's the first step towards taking the property to auction. Then we track notices of trustee sale, and the notice of trustee sale gets recorded with the county, and it sets a specific sale date and time and location and price. Then on that sale date, the property can be sold, it can be canceled, or it can be postponed. And it can be postponed for up to 1 year. And that's the other thing that we track, is we track what happened at each auction each day. Did the property sell? Did it cancel? Or did it postpone? And if it postponed, when did it postpone until? And for what reason? They can postpone due to bankruptcy, due to mutual agreement. The lender and the borrower agreed to give the borrower a little more time because the bank wasn't yet ready. A restraining order. So there are certain cases for postponement. In fact, most properties postpone for at least some period of time. And so we track that whole postponement period, which can be up to 1 year from the original date of auction. And then the properties that sell and go back to the bank is not going to keep those properties. They're going to resell them. So there's another opportunity here for realtors to take those listings from the bank and from investors to buy those properties from the bank. So we track those as bank-owned opportunities.
Are there any other services that are like this?
There are certainly services that provide the recorded notices of default and the recorded notices of trustee sale. We're the only service that I'm aware of that tracks the foreclosure auction on a daily basis, especially on a statewide basis.
Sounds like it's more comprehensive and the data are more accurate than other services out there.
Yeah, the action now is really at these foreclosure auctions, and so not having visibility to that is certainly flying blind if you're serious about the foreclosure marketplace. The other big thing that we do that I think is real unique for subscribers is if you find a property that you're interested in, you can add it to what we call our deal manager, which is basically a shopping cart of the properties that you're interested in. You can set things like your interest level. You can keep track of your status in reviewing the property. You can do financial analysis, put in your own numbers for what you think the property's worth, what loans the property has on it, what financing you might use, and look at your return on investment. That's a really nice way to analyze property. You can also add your own photos and your own notes about the properties.
Okay, so how much is it?
The price is $49.95 a month with discounts if you do an extended subscription of quarterly, biannually, or annually. And of course, we very excited to be part of the iTulip community, so we're offering a discount on those rates to iTulip members of 20%.
I mentioned to listeners that you have been a very strong contributor to iTulip for quite some time, and we consider you to be our real estate expert on the site.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a joy. I definitely get more from iTulip than I give.
Well, that's great. Well, appreciate your time, Sean, and we'll talk again soon, okay?
Wonderful. Thank you, Eric.